What's up, YouTube? Hello, my subs. I love you. Wow, this has been quite an interesting couple of days. I do believe that a couple of, well, I'll say definitely one good thing out of this whole situation. One good thing did happen, and that is that they stayed in one place for a little bit too long and they gave everybody else the evidence that they needed to come to the conclusion that there is a lot of scamming involved. I have been like going over, before they deleted everything, I went over a lot of old videos, and in one of them she said, "Oh, it's just planting the seed, just the seed of doubt. It's just planting the seed." Well, I would like to tell you that the seeds were only ever planted by CNH. Very skillfully. Going back over the videos, I could definitely tell, now that I'm not in the middle of that storm anymore and I'm able to sit from an outside perspective and really look in, go over basically every interaction that her and I ever had together, every interaction that they had with everybody, viewers. There's so many little seeds that are planted, and when they're doing that, there is actually a storyline that they're going with. The main storyline was that I'm a bad friend, and I had them living like this, and oh my God, she's lying about us and calling us trash and calling us scum and gossiping about us. Every single thing that you guys ever heard that was negative about me, you heard from their mouth. You will never, not once, find that I ever posted anything on Facebook, that I ever put any nasty messages about them up on the, or any kind of forums, or on Facebook where you can put your posts. I never did any of that. In fact, when I had so many people that were commenting on my videos about theirs, I stayed silent. I didn't say anything. I would delete a lot of the negative comments about them and just move on. But now that I actually see everything for how it really is, and I've really taken the time to review all of my personal interactions, there is an absolute pattern here. An absolute pattern of using people, of playing on people's sympathies, starting mad drama. And you guys need to be absolutely ashamed of yourselves, for there are a lot of you that just get right into it. As soon as H puts up a post that's like, wow, somebody did this to me, and blah, 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 blah. Like, you guys respond to that 13-year-old girl mentality just like a band of merry little mean girl followers, and you can't do that. You are so quick to jump on her daughter, definitely to jump on me, to jump on Terry, to jump on Robert, to jump on this entire island that are beautiful, good people, and They were the ones victimized. I was the one that was victimized. Melanie was the one that was victimized. We're the victims over here. So for you to get on all the pages and want to say, it just needs to stop now. You're not being an adult, Ellie, because you're keeping it going. I did not start it. I did not post their videos. I was not the one that splashed my name and my character and tried to defile it and deface it. I am not the one that did all that. I am the victim in it because I didn't do anything wrong. Not at all. You all are the victims of a hoax. If you guys would remember back to the Somerset House video, if these people can edit so well to make a table look like it's levitating from the ceiling, what kind of editing do you think that they're capable of? They know how this works. They know how you all work. And they know that if they say that there's a pattern, they'll put the seed out, whine about it, flip it, make it look like they're the victims, and then you guys respond. And then let's look into the camera. Oh, we're going to get a new P.O. box. Ding! We all need to wake up. We absolutely all need to wake up. It is definitely the time of revelation when that veil needs to come off for everybody. And you know what? This was just another learning lesson. I won't be saying anything more about this situation, or about them on any of my videos. My channel never started out that way. It's not going to be that way. And that's it. But you know what? I have the right as a victim to say my thoughts and feelings about it. There are a lot of questions that people have asked me, and I'm going to try my best to answer a lot of those. But at first, I do want to say that I do have a statement. I do have a statement from Melanie, and I'm going to read it to you. Okay, when all of this started, when they posted their first video, you know, about how nobody helped them move, when all that started, I actually hadn't talked to Melanie for a couple of weeks. I mean, we're all shut in, really don't run into each other that much. So when all the drama started going down, I got a reply from her on one of her own videos, and that's what sparked you know, us getting together to talk about things. And I told her, I will do whatever you want me to do. Whatever you want me to do. And last night when the live video did not work, and it did not work because it was reported instantly, and it was taken down for, I forget what they said, something that it was inappropriate material, which is interesting because I hadn't even started talking yet. But she said that she wanted me to read this statement to you. Again, this is the same one that is on her channel, but she wanted me to read it to you. Hi, Elle. I'm sorry about this drama that started. I know you had good intentions for my parents. I don't understand why they have to post about every person they stop getting along with. If they don't get along with anybody on Smith Island, they should just stop talking to them and cut the rope instead of keeping things going by posting negativity about you and Robert's parents when you helped both of them get their stuff out of the bakery, and Darren, who actually did offer to help Chris. I don't appreciate how they have to play the victim on YouTube and have a nation of over 40,000 subscribers. She put 20, but it's actually 40. To listen to to them talk down about other people, and those people start cyberbullying those people. And it's even began to have people attacking her daughter with rude, ignorant messages who don't really know the whole situation. You guys left on a good note with tears, hugs, and smiles. Darren and Kathy put all their stuff out of the bakery on the porch carefully and neatly because they asked them to. So why did they have to end things by making everyone out to get them? Chris asked Robert to help move stuff with his truck, but he was ill with the flu. I had to take care of him. Otherwise, he would have come to help. The last 2 days they were here, I didn't move anything because I wanted to have those 2 days to spend with Elian. Because I knew once they left, I wouldn't be able to see him again for who knows how long. That was the most important thing to me. So that's her stand. Now, I would like to talk about the first staged video with "Where are your friends now?" and "Oh my God, she just turned her back on me," and blah 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 blah. When they were here, first of all, when they came, I did not know that they were coming. They had been talking about coming that whole week. Actually, they'd been talking about it for a month. And every time there was a plan that was made, it would get canceled. There were posts. Well, she had asked me about getting Otis's number. That is true. I didn't have it. And I was straight up. And was like, look, that is definitely going to start a problem because Terry's your friend. Now, what I didn't say, that I will say to you, is that all the whining that they did about how much money it cost to bring their stuff over here, what they didn't tell you was that they only had to really pay for one freight boat trip, and I think that cost them about $100 and some. Then they had another trip on the freight boat on Terry's big boat, and that was maybe $60. The rest of all their stuff was brought over for free by Terry in his own personal boat. He brought their stuff over for free. The big compressors, everything. So there shouldn't have been any whining involved there, because guess what? When you make the decision to move, and if they were bringing all their stuff over here, they made the decision to move here. Moving costs money, and that's the way it is. So they ultimately decided to take Otis's boat and ignore Terry, and knew darn well that it was going to cause hurt feelings because of everything that Terry did for them. Without asking for anything for it, he did it for them. So of course there was going to be hurt feelings. I didn't hear anything from them when they got here. I went right down and was like, "Hi, I didn't know you guys were coming." And she's like, "Yeah, well, we just thought we better do it really quick." And so when I was there, she already wasn't talking to me. So the decision was already made that somehow I was this bad friend. Well, she already made the decision that she was going to X me off, regardless of what excuse she thought of to do it. And I was there from day one. And days would go by. I would message, I would message, and I would never get a response. Not one response. I would go down there and pop in on them, which I did several times, to see if they needed my Jeep. No, no, I'm good. I got it covered. Other people offered their vehicles. Oh, it's good. No, I got it covered. So the hard times that you see a lot of times are staged hard times. Secondly, anybody that wants to look at the video of what the house actually looked like a week before they moved into it, that is still on my personal channel. I think the video is called I Declare a Lawn Decor War. I think that's the video where you see, I'm actually even talking about them possibly having new tenants come in, and that I think they're really going to like it, and you see the whole house. Now, when I started to think that maybe I was being used was not only when they left the island in January. They had posted a video, and I believe that, I know that it's taken down now, but I think that it was when we were coming to my house. Terry and I went to pick them up, and when we were in the car, she goes, "Oh, you guys, if we're ever not friends, like, how could we make Ellie look like the villain? Ooh, I can make you so dark." And her and I were like, I thought it was a joke. And now that I understand that conversation, I'm thinking, okay, I don't know how many of our interactions were actually authentic. I don't know if I was being used the entire time, or if it just started when they wanted to get a jump start back on their YouTube, or wanted to get more money or whatever. I don't know, but I definitely believe that the whole idea to make me out to be the bad guy happened in January. They left right after that, left their cat. The house was left a mess. It was a mess. Extension cords were going, from inside to outside. So when that was going on in January and I really wasn't hearing anything from her, and then their videos seemed like they were planting a lot of little seeds. It seemed to be a couple different scenarios. One, it costs way too much money. Nobody wants to help us with boat fares or to take our stuff, and oh my God, our stuff is being held hostage, and blah, 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 blah. Like, they put a lot of that narrative into their videos. So when that was going down in January, I found out something that was a huge eye-opener for me. When they first moved here, I asked them to come. We all saw the videos how they're in the rain and their tent is flooded out, and then they're bouncing from hotel to hotel. We completely sympathize, cry, and empathize because there is an innocent child in all of this. So when I moved in with Terry, as soon as that house was available, which was the same time that they were going through all this, I asked if they would like to come for a couple weeks, maybe make some cool videos if they wanted to. I would really appreciate if they helped me give my channel a jump start, bring some, put some eyes on the island, because I wanted to try to boost the tourism for everybody here. So they came out, did their thing, left. Island's not for us, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We all had a good time. Cool, cool. And then I get a text message, and I'm hearing about how bad the living conditions are, how awful, that there's nowhere to go, that they're homeless. Would you consider renting? So what I decided to do was give 3 months free rent. I first offered 2 months free rent. And then when October started to come around, I was hearing, oh my God, Melanie we're trying to get Melanie back and blah, blah, blah. I miss her so much. And Elion misses her and blah, 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 blah. But I don't have the money to do it. So I fell into it and I said, okay, how about if we don't start rent until like November, and the first rent payment was supposed to be November 23rd or 24th because that's when they would get their automatic deposit. I said, let's just keep it to then, and that'll give you an extra month. You can take that money and get Melanie back over here. Oh my God, Ellie, that would be so great. That is so wonderful. So that whole time, I thought that I had helped to get Melanie over because I was not asking for any rent. And then in January, I found out that it was a subscriber who actually paid for Melanie to get to the island. And that was a punch in the gut for me, a huge punch in the gut. It wasn't that long after that, I was not jumping to every little thing that she said anymore. And I think that maybe that's when the decision was, okay, I'm not getting what I want from her anymore, and I'm not able to tug on Ellie's heartstrings anymore and get a bunch more stuff for free. So I'm gonna paint this picture that she's this villain and this island is like totally Alfred Hitchcock, and we're like, oh, brainwashing Melanie and everybody that lives here, like I'm glad I'm awake to everything. Okay, I'm actually happy to have these questions because trying to talk right off the top of my head is actually kind of difficult. I got a long list of questions right before the live was supposed to go on. Somebody sent me a long list of questions, or maybe they were under replies or comments or something, but she has a lot of questions, so I'm gonna go through hers. Question number 1, how much money do C&H owe you? Well, actually, they don't owe me anything. Don't want anything. They made 3 payments. I got 2 $500 rental payments and 1 full rent payment for $700. Out of those rent payments for $500 and $700, all of the utilities were paid. So, again, they weren't shelling money out to me. I was shelling it out the other direction. Did C&H let you know that they weren't happy living in the island while they were staying there? Well, this is the thing that's really interesting is all of the video where they showed actually how happy they were living here and what a nice environment it is, all of a sudden most of those videos seem to be gone. Yes, they let me know that they weren't happy and that they wanted to get off. But their stuff still stayed in the house and they weren't here. Instead, they were in Virginia for 2 months, complaining and complaining and complaining about moving and getting off the island instead of being here packing their stuff. I mean, I'm being real here. Question number 3. Was it obvious to you that they could not make any money while they were living there? Answer, they were making money because they were getting it from you guys. They would be here maybe a couple weeks at a time. I mean, come on. All of you guys that follow their channel, it's like you've completely forgotten about every video they've ever posted. They've been off. They've been dumpster diving. They've been selling their boxes of eBay stuff. As far as I know, they had money. They did have money, but it never went to the appropriate places. Let me put it that way. Let's see. Question number 4. Did they let you know that the electricity and the heat in your house weren't working? Thank you for asking that. When they first moved, well, not when they first moved in. It wasn't when they were moving in. When they first came to the house for, the 2 weeks, little vacation, make some videos or whatever. When they first came, I did show them where I had a short in the back bedroom and the lights didn't go on. Like there was one wall, and that was it. So they already knew about that. Part of the exchange for them living 3 months rent-free was that Chris was supposed to help me fix that section of the bedroom. So I think it was around November. All the wiring pretty much went down. So at that point, I was aware of it. We did have Darren go over, put in a new breaker box. Everything was up and running for a while. I paid to have that done. And then, right before they left in December, end of December, whatever Chris said, he had something plugged in. I mean, on a hoax video, they even he told you what he did. I mean, they were plugging in all the electric heaters because they did not want to buy fuel. When they first moved in, they had fuel, but they didn't want to buy it. That's why the house was cold. That's why they were in their kitchen using my oven like a heater. I shouldn't get off on a tangent because I'm not even sure where I started. But everything was operational until about the end of December. And in the end of December, when they plugged in these heaters, it did something to the electric. He ran out to the box and apparently there's sparks, and that's when everything happens. And you know what? I was not actually notified. Not by them. He even self-admitted in that video that he messaged Darren first, or she messaged Darren first. I didn't know anything. Not until I finally heard about it from him. And at that point, that month, I couldn't afford to fix it. I had just put out money to fix it. So he racked up this deal with Darren at he was going to help figure out the electricity if I could buy the supplies. And I said, cool. And then they left. He pulled out all the wiring from my walls and then left. That's the situation about the electricity. All right. Did CNA sign a leash to rent your home for a specific amount of time? And the answer is no. I was renting to them month by month because it was never meant to be a permanent, at least I knew from what they were saying that it was not supposed to be a permanent situation. Now my question was with that though is if they did really know that, why did they keep bringing all their stuff over here? That's one thing I couldn't figure out. Question number 6. Did they give you notice when they were moving? I knew their intention was to move, and I knew for 2 months they were talking about it, and I'd see every comment that they had on their videos about it, but I couldn't get any solid time from them. They took off, left all their stuff. That's what happened. And then when they arrived here on that day, they didn't have, certainly didn't have the gumption to tell me that they were here. So I guess the answer to your question is no. Question number 7. Did Terry know that Chris loaded his stuff on the dock and was planning to take a ride back to his boat, but Terry didn't wait for him on purpose? The answer is no, that's not true. The answer is there are very strict times here for boats, trains, planes. That's how it works. The captain, they got a boat time. When it's that time, they leave. Chris and Holly knew this. They knew what time the boat left. They had brought some of their bags, like overnight type bags to the dock. We were all standing there looking around, and I'm like, is that Holly stuff? He said, I think so, but where are they? I don't know. I texted her, your stuff is here, where are you? Boat is gonna leave. And she was piddling around getting coffee or whatever the explanation was in one of their videos, and missed the boat. They showed up late. You snooze and you lose. No, nobody did anything to them on purpose. Question number 8. Chris claims that Terry saw him and Holly come back to the island for the last time, but wouldn't acknowledge them and just kept his head down, pretending not to see him. Is that true? Yes and no. When they came to the island, yes, they used a different boat, and that docks on the kind of the other end of the island. Terry said that he was in the middle of doing something and he hears, hey, and he turns around. They're waving and smiling at him like, ha ha. That's how he took it, as a slap in the face. He put his head down and he shook his head. Let me tell you that before they arrived back to this island, Terry already had it figured out what kind of players they were. And I was always defending them, always saying, oh no, I'm not sure that that's how it is. And Terry knew better. So that last dig, he absolutely had a right to be disgusted, because not only was she being really, they were being rude and vindictive to begin with. Not taking their friend's boat, who had shelled out a lot of money for them to help them get all their stuff on the island, fix their heater, get them food, get them fuel cans, whatever it might have been. Terry did it. So if I was in Terry's situation, I would have put my head down too and ignored him. So let's see. Question number 9. Is this misunderstanding all about money and anger because Chris and Holly used Otis's boat to move their stuff? Or is it because they owe you money? I think that I already answered that with a couple of my explanations. At the end of the day, this had nothing to do with hurt feelings, okay? It has to do with the fact that these people used us and then flip the scenario to make us look like the bad guys. That's the problem with this whole thing. Has nothing to do with taking a boat. And trust me, any money that I lost with Chris and Holly at this point, I'm absolutely happy to sacrifice it, because like I said, I'm moving on. There will be no mention of this again. All right, last question, or last couple of questions. Why didn't, number 10, did Chris and Holly leave your house in good order, or did they leave it a mess? Actually, I was impressed with the cleanup job that they did with the house. It needed to be gone through like any house that gets moved out of, but in terms of the house, no, I personally did not feel like my house was trashed, other than the fact that I've got wires hanging out everywhere. The rest seems to be okay. The shed and my yard were left an absolute mess. My daughter, my son, and Nathan spent a whole day over there right after they left, cleaned up everything, got all of the cedar chips and beer cans and everything else like that out of the shed and from the yard, and it looks okay. We just have to fix the electrical problem. Last question. Why didn't Melanie, Robert, and Nathan help C&H move their stuff to the dock? I answered that in the beginning as well. A lot of help was offered, but they wanted to create this illusion that nobody was helping them. Wow, poor us. Look, I gotta schlep my stuff on a dolly to a boat. Okay. No, a lot of people offered to help. I already showed you my text messages, how I was just being completely ignored. So for those 2 days that she said that we didn't even see Ellie for 2 days, that's why. That's why. So, I do want to say one thing. I do wish that a lot of people that don't have any facts or don't have personal experiences with this couple, I would like you to stop speculating about drug use and prostitution and all this other stuff. I actually never saw any kind of clue or situation or anything that would allude to them being meth users or drug users. I personally don't believe that. I didn't see any evidence of that at all. I believe that Holly does have a bad skin condition. I really don't think it has anything to do with drugs. Again, I saw no evidence of that. So please be the bigger person. Don't just start rumors. Don't start gossip. Okay? No, I'm not a gossip. And I'm hoping that through this entire video, you guys were able to actually see some of the things that went down. What I find to be really funny actually about this whole thing is when they first came to the island and they're like, yeah, we'll help you with your YouTube. And she's like, tell me, where do you want your channel to go? Like, what do you actually want for your channel? Well, I have 25 years experience in entertainment. And my last entertainment job, I was actually behind the scenes. And I told Holly, I said, wow, you know, I would like to have enough viewers so that I feel comfortable enough to like expose the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, because I do know for a fact that there actually are fake newscasts. There really actually are. There can be hired crisis actors, which happens a lot. But I'm like, I know about like when they did a lot of these fake news stories, and she's like, oh my God, that'd be so awesome if you could like throw it all out there. The irony in all this is that their last two videos were the fake news. And they pulled it off really well. With some people. They pulled it off really well. But isn't that interesting? So, guys, I'm feeling much better now that I've talked to you, that I was able to get everything off my chest. You know, if you want to give gifts to us YouTubers, great. But what I'm going to ask is that whenever there's a call out, a blatant shout out for money, there's a dig, there's a seed that's planted that they need money, just know you're being played. And if you do want to send money or gift cards or whatever or support, then at least send it to the people that actually, you know, that do appreciate it. So, and that would be Melanie's channel. 100%. And we're now moving on from all this. We're going to heal again. I learned a lot. And you know what, in life, that is what it's all about. Learning a lot, taking the veil off, appreciating your family. I do have real friends. I do have authentic friends, and I've got a beautiful community here on Smith Island. So, lesson learned. Let's all move on. Support Melanie Delane. Peace.